You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. What up, mi gente? It's your boy Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders Podcast, mi gente. Today, we're talking some comic book goodness. We're going to talk about a dope project with 8 days to go right now on Kickstarter. We got the brains behind this project. I mean, he is a materials engineer, but that's the boring side of the life. We're here to talk about comic books, man, because he's an ill comic book creator, comic book writer. He's had some kick-ass Kickstarters, all right? Getting it done. He got this one right here. Again, 8 days to go, folks. You're going to learn all about the awesomeness of this particular character from the man himself, the future legend and superstar, Mr. Kevin Doyle. Wepa, how you doing?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very glad to be here.
Yeah, brother. We're going to kick ass, brother, because we were supposed to have this chat last week, folks, but technology, didn't want to play nice with us. You would think that we were from Krypton, right? The computers just weren't agreeing, right? Too bad typewriters that they can't connect electronically.
That's the thing. Technology solves so many problems and creates so many more.
Yes, they do. Right? And we got, talk about problem solvers. We got somebody that thinks he's a problem solver in your current project that we're going to be talking about. And Carlo Scolari. I can't wait to get into this. Attorney at law. We're gonna talk about this, folks. There's gonna be some funny shit. But before we get there, you know what it is. We need the origin story. So, Mr. Doyle, let us know where you from, where you're at, and what was your first taste of pop culture fandom.
All right. Well, I'd say for pop culture, like I grew up in the 90s with, I think, really a lot of like the DC animated shows. Batman the animated series, Superman, Justice League. That was my real getting into pop culture. I mean, well, before that, also got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, obviously. Your standard child of the 80s and 90s package. And so, yeah, always loved comic books, the comic book media. Then when I was, went to college and then in grad school, I started getting ideas for comic books that just wouldn't go away. So I started writing them, and then like 10 or 12 years later, I'm finally making them.
Wow, there you go. Look at that. And when did you grow up at?
Where did it grow up?
Yeah, where did you grow up?
Houston. Yeah, Houston, Texas.
So you never left Houston, grew up and still there?
No. So after so I went to grad school. I got a job at a lab in DC. Spent there for a few years, and now I'm in California working for Raytheon, just your standard little cog in the military-industrial complex.
Yes, I know of Raytheon. I work in technology for my day job, so yes, that's a name that does come up. Very familiar. So good stuff. All right, so he's a geek. He's doing all this. So what about you growing up then? How was that like? Were you a lone wolf in your fandom? Did you have a crew of kids that were down with you? Or were you a shy nerd like most of us were in that era?
So I was like, of course, I had my small crew of geeks. We always hung out together, middle school, high school. So I was kind of like, actually in high school, I was a theater kid. Oh. So like I was always shy, except then I'd get a performance and then I'd, perform that way. So
all of a sudden the shy kid blows up on stage like, hey, what the hell?
Well, I had to pretend to not be shy. That was part of my character.
Okay. So that's how you Jedi mind tricked yourself? I'm not supposed to be
so,
shy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So what was your early taste of comic books that got you into it? And especially when it comes, as a writer, most of you guys definitely fall in love with certain creators. Like, this is man right here. So, or woman. So what did you connect with growing up?
This may not be the most original choice, but really connected a lot with Alan Moore, Watchmen, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, also Sandman, that kind of stuff.
And R.I.P. to Kevin, since you mentioned that passed on today too, a great partner to Alan Moore, with the League, if you will. co-creator even. I mean,
Co-creator, yeah.
we're losing too many of these, Kevin. This is why we gotta celebrate youngins like you that are stepping into the game. To handle those chores of these legends. So thank you, Kevin,
Yeah,
for
I
real,
mean,
for being a creator.
we won't reach their level, but we got to try. Yeah.
You never know that. Hey, you gotta manifest. You never
Yeah.
know if you can or will, because the future is open. You never know. So all right, so talk about the comics. I mean, was there a shop around you when you started finding stuff, or was it through
Yeah,
friends,
there was.
family?
Well, yeah, grew up in Houston. There was a place called Third Planet, a
Okay.
store, like your comics and gaming store. So I went there, for browse the comics. A lot of Magic the Gathering. That was kind of like my, what I was into back
Okay.
then. So yeah, I played Magic the Gathering. Was a little too old to get into Pokemon, but
All right. Hey, you never saw it for Pokemon, bro.
well,
Come
now,
on,
yeah, I should say that is true. You can always get into Pokemon.
You got senior citizens playing with the phone app. You know what I mean? Come on now. I caught him. What the hell are you talking about, Grandma?
Yeah. My apologies.
They're cooler than us, right? Apparently.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I should say, yeah, I did get into the game, so I should say
Okay.
that. But yeah, I went there for like Magic the Gathering and browsing my comic books. I was getting the Spider-Man and like Simpsons comics, actually, if you remember those.
Oh hell yeah, from Bongo.
Yeah,
hell
from
yeah.
Bongo.
That was good stuff.
Yeah, so that's how I was getting into it. And like I said, a lot of like all the Saturday morning cartoons from the 90s, like, the X-Men 90, the old X-Men show, the 97 one that I guess is coming back now. And also The Tick. The Tick was like a huge influence on me.
Oh hell yeah, The Tick is great. I've met the creator of The Tick at Boston cons when I was out there. Awesome dude, and even Ian Nichols, which has been drawing a lot of Tick stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tick is the man. Too bad that Amazon show. We needed more. What's going on?
Yeah, just more Tick. That's
yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it. And Arthur, come on.
And Arthur, yes, Anna.
So all right. So when did you decide to get creative though, in all this madness? What made you take the creative leap, if you will?
All right. Well, I didn't really start trying to create until I was in grad school. And if you're in grad school in tech, you spend a lot of time staring at dots appearing on a screen. And so, while I was in there, is kind of, while I watched the dots appear on the screen, I was also like surfing the web and like came across TV tropes, which is like a really, for those who don't know, TV tropes is kind of a website that names all the different tropes in pop culture. And you can spend so many hours as they sort of analyze and list and deconstructs all the tropes you can find.
Oh, really?
And like, actually, it's kind of good for storytelling because you can see these sort of tropes and think, well, how would that mix? Like, what if I did that differently? So I got a few ideas off of there, and they just wouldn't go away. I kept, coming back to it, thinking about it, like, and gradually the stories would form. Then a little later, I finally started looking around to see how I can actually make those. Can't draw at all. My artistic ability peaked with stick figures. So
you and me both, bro.
Yeah, but so I started working on how to write scripts. I actually came across an online workshop, Comics Experience.
Oh, great spot! Yes, I know them very well. A lot of great guys have come out of there and ladies.
Yep, they got some offer courses, and they had like an online forum you could post your stuff and get the critique, which is what you really need. Is I would write something and show it to my friends, and they'd all say how wonderful it is, but you can't trust your friends. You gotta find people who hate you and say, "Here's my script.
This is trash.
Here's your chance to hurt me."
The fuck out of here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But tell me it's trash constructively, please. What's trash about it so I can fix it? You know what I mean? I understand that, Kevin. I mean that's what real friends are. honest, even if it's
Right.
gonna hurt you. Say, listen, don't even give me a warning. This may offend you. Just if I give you something, I'm asking for your brutal, honest opinion. So don't be like,
Right.
I'm sorry for what I'm about to say, because then you're gonna anger me there.
Exactly.
Just tell me what's wrong with it in your opinion. I dig that. Do you have
Yeah.
that in your life though? Honestly, like none of your friends were real with you.
I got a few.
A few.
But,
Okay. A salute to those.
yeah, a few of those. But like I said, I think it's easier with
Strangers.
in like the forums like the workshop where it's like you got a bunch of people who are all trying to get better and they don't have the personal connection so they can be more honest with you. And they've actually got a few comic pros on the forums who'll give like a pro critique. So that's
Okay.
that.
Excellent. So, how did you feel when you started getting that critique? How were you taking it? And
Um, yeah, well, you have to get that period where, like, when you don't know what you're doing and you write something that you think is wonderful, then someone with like an actual pro comes and critiques it. And it's like you have to learn to get over yourself and like,
okay.
yeah.
So
But then
basically, take the ego at
but
the
then
door.
the good critiquers will also say, well, here's some stuff that's good about it. Maybe if you focus on that, and so then you just keep
Oh, okay.
shake it off and then do your next draft,
There you go. There you go.
or sometimes abandon the project. That sometimes you have to do that too.
So, what was that learning curve like for you then? Was it something that was it difficult for you? In trying to step into this room, was it an easy process?
Mhm. Um, it was kind of difficult to work myself up to that, but once take the plunge, then you just adapt quickly. I mean, it's always scarier. It seems scarier before you actually do it. At least for
Yes.
me, yeah.
Understood. So, when did you take the plunge to finally actually say, okay, I want to make something and put it out there?
Okay.
When did that happen? How did it happen? And what steps did you take to even, try to bring it to fruition? And I use the words try, and he's going to tell you why.
Right. Yes. Well, actually, so I think Carlo Scolari. This script was the first one of my scripts that I thought was good enough to actually try and find an artist and get it illustrated.
Okay.
So I took the plunge. I found some artists on DeviantArt, and we tried to put together a pitch package. Which that was my first time pitching it, so obviously the pitch packages were crap too. But
You're not much
I
of
didn't
a
know what I was
hustler, I
doing.
gather. You're
Yeah,
not much of a street hustler. Like, yo, what
yeah.
up, baby? Check out this.
So, so that time, no, I didn't get any publisher attached. I talked with the artist about maybe trying to do it self-publishing, but he wasn't really interested. He was getting a better offer, and I couldn't really blame him for dropping me. Then I tried another artist who took some of my money, delivered really like the artwork on their online portfolio was nowhere near as good as the art they were delivering.
Oh, damn.
And after a few
Ooh.
pages, I kind of had to finally, okay, this isn't working. Drop. So that was another lesson. When something isn't working, you need to just walk away.
Immediately.
Yeah. It's like you're not going to get that money and time back. So.
Oh, wow.
And then tried a couple more artists. Basically, I would try an artist, get a few pages done, but something would fall apart. Like one of them, like he injured his hand and like couldn't really draw anymore. Which that really sucks.
Oh, wow. What is going on? So this was a struggle. Jeez.
It was a struggle. And like actually after like the fourth artist, I kind of like got fed up and quit comics altogether for a while.
Oh, wow.
But after a few years getting over that, I mean, like also moving a couple times across the country, like rebuilding my life in another city. Okay. So where I'm at now, Santa Barbara, they have a comic book store called Metro Comics and Entertainment, and they started doing a comic creators meetup for
cool.
People who interested in making comics and meet up, like share tips and stories and all that stuff.
Very cool.
Started going to that got me interested again. That's when I started coming up with the idea for a different series called the Ninja Scouts.
Hey.
Yeah, they're a like the Boy Scouts, but it's sort of like if the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was an after-school club that anyone could join. And so I actually started working on that, found a great artist, Martin Pushko, who's up in Slovakia, actually. And we actually managed to, we pitched it to Scout Comics, and they actually took it up for their Scoot imprint.
Woo, man! Now, what lessons did you learn from the first time pitching to the second time pitching?
Well, the first time pitching is like, you need to keep it as short as possible, because you need to like make an impact immediately. Because maybe you have it like this grand sweeping epic. So I could, like, my first one, I wrote down like one entire full page, like single spaced, about the entire synopsis, and like, looking back, they were just too busy.
It was a scroll. They were just like, oh my God, when are you gonna finish? All right.
Yeah, it's like, obviously you should have that amount of detail in your head, but they're not going to have time to read that. They have too many scripts to read. So if it's like this dense block, you need to like sell them in a couple sentences, or they're just going to move on.
Okay, so that was the biggest lesson taken into the second pitch.
Yeah,
and obviously,
and actually, I pitched Ninja Scouts to a couple companies that passed before finally found it in Scouts. So, and like again, it's like you always like keep reviewing, keep like putting out for feedback, that kind of stuff.
There you go. You see the mission? Hell yeah, brother. So congrats for you. Look at that. So that's your second project, and you already got published by an amazing independent publisher. So that's dope. So now, fast forward a bit. Now we have this baby that's live right now. All right. We're going to get in. I want to show off the Kickstarter and the video, if you don't mind, before we start really getting into this. So you could dive us into the Scolari verse over here and see what in the world is going on. So folks, you know what it is with Mega, right? Let me do the screen share real quick. Hold on. All right. You hold tight real quick. Oh man, I think we're gonna see Scolari in real life. Hey, check this out, folks. This is the project live right now.
Hello, I am Kevin Doyle, and I am the creator of Carlo Scolari, Attorney at Law. Carlo Scolari is a 4-issue superhero comedy miniseries, sort of in the same spirit as The Tick or She-Hulk, about an enterprising personal injury lawyer in a superhero universe. In this first issue, terrible accidents keep occurring at local labs' Speculative Technologies, with the victims going on superpowered rampages of revenge. Then Carlo approaches the latest would-be supervillain with another idea. Why not sue the lab? I am the writer of Carlo Scolari, as well as other books such as Dr. Destructica and The Ninja Scouts, which is published by Scout Comics. Pencils are done by Mauricio Caballero, who was nominated for an Eisner Award for his work on the webcomic Hell. Inks are done by Lena Sanchez, colors by Fernando Caballero, and letters are done by Ringo Award nominee Justin Birch. Woo. For your generous support, you can receive either a digital or printed copy of the book. Other awards include a Carlo Scolari poster, buttons featuring the characters, and copies of my other books as well. You can also make an appearance in the comic book yourself.
Hey.
Send us a picture of you or the person of your choosing, and our artist will insert you into the comic in select panels. More rewards may become available if we meet our stretch goals. Thank you again for taking the time to check out my project and for any support that you can provide. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I hope to see you again in a few months for issue number 2. See you then.
Woo! There you go. Look at that awesome team, everybody. Right? You see that, folks? You see that right there, mi gente? That is at 89% of its goal, all right? They need 25. That's 22, 28. 51 backers, 8 days to go. We got to make this happen, baby. So, Kevin, the floor is yours. Please introduce us to this world that you've created with Carlo Scolari, attorney at law.
All right. Well, in this world, we got a laboratory called Speculative Technologies that are known for 2 things. Their groundbreaking, cutting-edge scientific research and their huge frequency of lab accidents. So, like every other week, a horrible lab accident happens that, like, horribly disfigures the victim, making them enraging them, so they go on this super-powered rampage of revenge till they're stopped by the local superhero Excelsius. He flies in with the super strength, saves the day.
Excel
And then the lab accident victims turned supervillain has to go off to jail. But one day we got, also in this universe, we have Carlo Scolari. He is a struggling lawyer trying to figure out how to make his law practice work. He's like behind on his rent. He can't pay his secretary, who is also his mother. So he's looking for that one big break. And then he's watching the latest, the news reports of the latest fight. And he's like, how often is that lab going to cause accidents? I mean, aren't they responsible? That gives him the idea. So he breaks into the facility and convinces the latest lab accident victim to, instead of going on a rampage or revenge, file a lawsuit for negligence.
Ooh.
And that's kind of where the first issue ends. And then there's going to be 3 more to tell the complete story.
You know what? If superheroes were in real life, New York lawyers would have been the first ones all over that shit.
Yeah, that's what I figure. Because,
So
like I said, I'm a materials engineer, so I work in a lab. So, which means I, of course, learn all of the, I work with chemicals, I work with high voltage equipment. And so there are all sorts of safety guidelines and procedures and OSHA protocols that I have to follow. So when I look at, when I watch a superhero movies, like a lot of the Spider-Man movie, like really all Spider-Man villains, it's like, if you just put a circuit breaker in there, where's your
the villains
GFIC?
are not OSHA compliant, these guys. That's why they fuck up.
They are not OSHA compliant at all. It's like 1 or 2 audits, and this would have all been avoided. So.
Oh man, that's what you should do at the end of a movie. Hi, I'm an engineer, folks, and this is what would have prevented this from all happening. No.
Yeah. Though, of course, then I guess you wouldn't have a story, but
Yeah. Hilarious. I dig it, bro, because it's beautiful art. It's fun. I mean, here goes an example here.
Yeah.
Of what's pop. Oh man, look at this team he created. It looks so animated. I could see this is a cartoon, or as we spoke about in the green room, this is what we need when they do sitcoms, TV shows. They need to stop trying to pitch from the comic books. Make it fun. This is a fucking prime example of something that I think would be a hit on TV, yo. Just the humor behind it, everything, whether animated or live action.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't really planning to revive my Carlo Scolari script, but then I came across Mauricio's. Mauricio put an ad out on a Facebook group, connecting comic writers and artists, and I saw his artwork, and it was like, okay, this is just too perfect. I need to jump on this.
I need this, Carlo. You coming back? Love it, bro. So what was that pitch like now? Because now you have to pitch to him.
Right.
So what was that pitch like?
Yeah, well, he had posted in his Facebook ad that he was looking for work. So, I instant messaged him, I showed him my website, sort of like gave him what work I'd done. He sent me his website where he has an ArtStation profile with all the work that he'd done, kind of looked it over and then said, yeah, we're both interested. And then started negotiating a page rate and said, like, will you commit to 4 issues of Carlo Scolari? And we worked out a deal and started going from there.
Cool. How did you even learn how to work out deals with these guys? Huh?
Yeah, well, it's another skill you kind of have to learn. So when I first started going into this, I thought, well, all I have to do is be a good writer. No. You also have to become a good business manager to like set up a budget and stick to it, which I'm not the best at.
As I told, not to interrupt, but I'm trying to see, I've spoken to entrepreneurs before, like motivational speakers, and they talk about, when coming onto my show, oh, but you guys do comics. Like, what can I offer comic people? I'm like, dude, creators are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I mean, they need all the help they could get. Thank you, Kevin, for even thinking about it in that way. Not many creators think about it like saying how you're saying. This is a business.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You gotta be on it. You gotta be serious. This is more than just Kevin Doyle.
Yeah, you gotta stick to a budget. And what I've kind of learned once I finally got a comic published, I thought, well, once you're published, you're in. That is also false because you can have the best book, but if nobody knows about it or nobody hears about it, no one's going to read it. So now I'm having to learn how to market it, how to get on, like, sell it on Twitter and Instagram. And actually, I think I need to go start setting up a TikTok page, because now that's
you got
where
to.
everyone is.
Doesn't mean that you got to dance, but I have a lot of comic book communities there. They basically do just like any other. Just introduce their shit, bro. You do it, brother. Definitely. Anything with your name, anything that's out there, put your name on that baby, kiddo. 100. Even if you don't dance, don't matter. Maybe you should do a Scolari dance. Hey, do something.
Yeah, I can. Well, I mean, as long as they don't need it to be good, I can do my awkward white guy shuffle. That's my name.
Hey, right, but you gotta throw in making it rain because the lawyer.
Make it rain,
I love the energy, man. Talk about building this team too. I mean, so you found money. What about the colorist, the inker, the letterist? I mean, because this is an overall gorgeous book. I mean, folks, look at this. Look.
Yeah. Well, actually, Mauricio kind of had. He's kind of like the lead on this team, but he has like a friend who is inker, and actually the colorist is his brother Fernando. So he kind of came as pre-assembled with the team, and then once I got them, I started again looking on the Facebook group. So I've had the best luck so far with the Facebook group connecting comic artists and writers, because they'll post if you're looking for work, they'll post ads there, and so I found Justin for to work as a letterer. And worked out a deal with him, and it's all been working out really great.
Woo! Look at you with this ill team, and again, a gorgeous book, folks. I mean, look at this. Look at this thing. What the hell? I mean, the imagination is wow with these, and this is one. This is definitely in the beginning, but folks, it's a whole dope ass like infomercial. It's funny. I'm like, si habla español, and it's se habla, so it should have been se.
Yeah.
But it's funny. See how like yes, we speak Spanish. I love it. This is great. Just like a New York commercial. Look at this, yo. This is great because this made me feel like I was reading the Hulk a bit and what was going on there, and this guy was such a douche.
Yeah.
And things happen.
Yeah.
And there goes that amazing team. Wepa. Spectech. Love it. Yeah, speculators are going to drive crazy over this because this is going to be the next big thing. This is how apparently, new people that get affected start showing up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Love it. Look at this. Look at those colors, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, where the hell were you digging, bro? For real. Because your imagination is buck, bro. Especially with the looks, the ideas, the concepts of the powers. I mean, where were you digging, bro? Was this a dream, bro?
I think a lot of it is probably just thinking of the Tick and like all the creativity he had there, like the offbeat powers that everyone had. So,
bro, because this is great, and it's funny.
Yeah.
That's another thing about it. Because Kevin, Mr. Doyle, you have outdone yourself here. Because I found myself chuckling a lot. This is a type of book that it's a fun book. It's a superhero book, but not really. You got that if you love Law and Order type shit, this is you too. With obviously humor in it, and it's just fantastic. I can't state enough how much I really do love this book and how funny it is, and there goes that moment. Haven't you had that look in your face at one point in your lives, guys?
Yeah.
Huh? Like, oh shit! Wait a minute. Is that how you look when you said, "Holy shit, Mauricio is available. I'm doing my book."
Yeah, that was kind of as I looked at the artwork and how great it was, just the eyes widened, and it's like, yeah, I got to do this.
And look at this book, beautiful book. A whole huge cast of characters. I mean, are any of these characters inspired by any true life people in your life?
Well, I think the scientist Tim, he who screws everything up. Well, he was I worked with a postdoc that I did not get along with. I mean, he wasn't
okay.
Not that he was like causing accidents, but it's like I just didn't like him. So,
I got you. He had the bad vibe, and that's how you saw him, and that's that. Awesome.
Yeah.
But again, you have this whole awesome cast of characters, amazing creators, right there doing their thing, from all over. All right, and now this is what we gotta talk about. this is very simple, folks. You gotta start pledging $10 without a reward because you got $10 to spare and you love indie. All right, do that. But of course, when we start getting into the goods, baby, here we are. Digital edition starting at $5. All right. Then we got the $6. You get a PDF of the Scolari at Law, and then you also get a poster. Digital download, folks. Digitals, all right. Now, when you start wanting some print, now we get $12 right here. Let me tell you, this is so worth it, yo. Such a great book. Book collector. Holy shit! For $25, you could get 4 print copies of books. Holy shit, bro! When did you come up with that? That's one of the best deals I've seen in a while.
Well, yeah. At this point, I've got this is the first one of Scolari, obviously, but I have 2 books of Ninja Scouts printed. I also have a book I made and sort of self-published. So that was my first Kickstarter that failed, but I liked the story, so I went ahead with it anyway. Called Dr. Destructica. So it's about a friendly mad scientist who teaches a bullied child the joys of revenge.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Yes.
And just as, I guess, a challenge, so it's not really a comic book. It's more of like an old style picture book, and it's written in Seuss style verse.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh, awesome. And that didn't fund?
Yeah.
It's all right. They're going to fall in love after the fact and kick themselves in the ass.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. Yeah. Look at this. For $80, you'll get a single cameo in the book. If you ever wanted to be in a book, right, Kev?
Yeah, there's one of those left. Basically, you send in a picture of you or whoever you're buying the cameo for, and our art team will put you into one of the panels of the comic.
And for real, with the holidays coming up, I know that you have geeks in your life. I bet you none of those geeks could say that they have an appearance in a comic book. Listen, ladies, gentlemen, this is a great gift for the comic geek in your life. And I mean, at $80, that's pretty awesome because hundreds, if not thousands of people are going to see this. It's going to be fire. All right. Oh, well, the early bird is all gone. These are all rewards are no longer available. And he ran out quick. Holy shit. Double cameo even. Look at that. Where you die twice in a book. Wonderful.
Well, yeah.
But this is great. So what's up, man? I mean, how am I going to get, what are we waiting for to get these buttons and to get everything else? I want buttons, bro. So how do we break into getting some buttons? What's going to happen for us to get buttons? What needs to happen?
Well, you can back the book, and you can get up to that. So I have 8 different character buttons. You can buy up to all 8 as add-ons to your reward.
Ooh, as an add-on, folks. You hear this shit? That's what you need. That's the poster. Let me tell you, this is like a great Subway poster. If you could have somehow had a guerrilla marketing campaign and taken over New York Subway and just put one of these up in every other station, that would have been fun. I mean, look at those gorgeous books that he's created right there. Epa, what? Ooh. Man, you really do, though. You could tell that you were inspired by cartoons, bro, though.
Yeah.
I mean, because with the artists that you choose, it's very obvious. Like, okay, yeah, you really grew up in the cartoon era.
Yeah.
Because as much as I love my cartoons, I was still a big comic book kid, But, then the cartoons started getting awesomer, if you will. Yeah, because that whole Timverse shit, I was on just like you, bro.
Oh, that Timverse was like mine. Yeah.
And I was an older teenager then, and I had to hide that. Like, oh, what are you going up for? I've got to eat, yo. Yeah, bullshit. I was watching my stuff. Fuck you. I love my nerddom. I mean, look, folks, right now, this is what's fire. We got to make these stretch goals happen. There's only 8 days to go for this fire book, and he has plans here. If at least 3 racks, everyone gets a PDF. You'd be doing an Oprah Winfrey. Everybody gets a PDF, baby. All right? You're going to do Oprah, 3,500. Everybody gets a digital copy of the book, a poster, and you know what else? A script. So I know that if you're heading into the journey of writing to see an actual comic script, goes a long way towards educating yourself on the hows.
Yeah,
so
if you look at the page,
perk.
look at the script, you got to see what your artist needs to know and what's just going to confuse them.
I love that. I think that's what made you do that, because not many. I maybe seen one other person do this. What made you decide on this? That's actually pretty cool. I like that.
Well, I'm also like I said, this was the first script that I was really proud of and felt was good enough to actually be made into a comic. Okay. So I want to, guess, show it off a little bit.
Nice. So check this out, folks. If he gets 4 racks in these 8 days, we could make it happen. All right. The holidays are coming. Spend money on comics. Support indie. So 4 racks, everybody gets a physical. I'm telling you, he's gonna do where every time there's a new tier, he's doing an even greater Oprah impression, folks. Even bigger. All right. 4,500. Everybody gets a physical and a bookmark. 5 racks. Everybody gets a physical and a copy of the second issue script. So you getting a scoop already on the next arc in advance. And now that's pretty cool, because what if they raise that, they read that script, fall in love with it? Now, will their ideas match what that is? I mean, they have to get it just for that. Yeah, is it like I pictured? This is wonderful, bro. You got some dope stuff. So again, 8 days to go. So where are we at with the book overall, the status of the book, the project itself? Is it ready to go? Does it need to go to printing? Where are we at? So that way people that are listening, watching know where that's at, so they could go ahead and pitch in and feel confident they're going to get their stuff on time.
Yeah, the book is so as soon as we get the cameos put in, so like we've got all the pages illustrated, we would just need to add like the cameos, and then it would be ready to go. And then we need to also, I list everyone who backs it gets like a credit in the book. I have like a thank you page. Ooh. So then I need to get everyone's name added to the thank you page. Okay. And then as soon as that's in, we send it to print. So I'm hoping to send it to print as soon as possible, because in a couple weeks after the campaign ends, I'm hoping to take this to Los Angeles Comic-Con.
Yeah, baby. And, oh, look at that. You already answered one of my future questions. So that's what I wanted to know. Of course, what cons will you be doing? So you said LA Comic-Con. Any others this year, or is that the end of the con tour this year?
So November 19th and 20th, I'm doing Bakersfield Comic-Con.
Ooh.
I mean, I won't have Carlo Scolari in hand at then, but I will have my other books.
Oh yeah. What booth? You know your booth number?
Oh damn! I should know my booth number.
But if you don't you worry. You let me know. DM me, message me, and I make sure that they, I share it so people can go and visit you and pick up some of those Ninja Scouts and destruct the car.
All right, we'll do.
All right, so you got that one, Bakersfield. Then you got what else?
Yeah, then LA Comic-Con December, and that's it for the year. Okay. But on January 24th, I'm doing Pasadena Comic-Con.
Ooh, already thinking and going into next year, kid. Beautiful. What's up, bro? We're gonna see you at SDCC then, since you're on that side.
That's the goal. I know I tried to get in last year. We'll see if I get in this year.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh my God, registration just came up. You're not getting those emails, bro. Bro, the registration just came up.
Well, I know what I'm filling out tonight.
Well, yes, right. As a matter of fact, right after this podcast, I need you to do that, because I'm going. So I definitely want to know that you have a booth, so I could give you a high five in person. Don't you worry. I'll start screaming "Wepa" down your aisle. You know that I'm coming. Like a shark.
All right. Well, good. Hope to see you there.
All right, my brother. So 2 things. First, thank you. Thank you so much, Kevin, for being brave and bold and sharing your vision and your story with us. Putting yourself out there creatively. You're a brave man. And thank you, because you are awesome. I love this book very much. I had so much fun reading it. This is something that deserves several rereads, because you'll find different jokes throughout, whether it's in the words or on the artistry. Great job to you and the team, man. Many blessings, kiddo.
Yeah, and thank you so much for having me and selling me better than I can probably.
No, man, I ain't selling, man. When you got awesomeness, it's just talking about. I'm genuinely excited about this project. I love it. So when it comes now to advice, because here you are, you're doing your thing. You didn't let failure stop you once and it never again, and you've been succeeding since. So what type of advice would you give somebody trying to step into the game now?
Just start failing and keep failing until you figure out what's going wrong.
Fail and fail again.
Because if you're not failing at something, you're not doing something. So
listen, there's a lot of truth behind that. Because through those failures, no matter what type of failure it is, you realize the mistakes that you may have made if you are hopefully not oblivious to them, and you could correct that action immediately and definitely find a path to success. Kevin is a wonderful example. He didn't let his first time trying to put something out on Kickstarter deter him. He kept going and he landed with a publisher in his second try. And this third try, I know you're going to get another publisher, and this is going to be a show. I'm manifesting. Let's make it happen, kiddo. Let's make it happen. All right? But, folks, very important. This is what we need you to do. I need you to visit this Kickstarter. The link is also below. Click away. Kickstarter, Carlo Scolari, Attorney at Law, #1. You're going to love this book. Show love and support to independent. I'm starting to see some other comic book sites all of a sudden, the bigger sites that were ignoring indie for so long. All of a sudden, oh, we want to help indie now. Oh, I wonder why. All of a sudden, right? It's weird, but you know what? Thank you, because people like Kevin could use all the press they could get to share in these amazing projects. So follow Kevin on Twitter and Instagram. Yes, I know I misspelled Twitter. It should be 2 T's. I know. Elon won't get mad. I promise.
Yeah.
So that's Doyle, WRIT. Large, all right? It wouldn't be Doyle Wright Large, but no E in Wright, okay?
Yeah,
and that's
Doyle
both
writ
on
large,
Twitter and Instagram. And of course, it's the same thing, but .com for his website. So you could check out his website, see everything he's doing, what's popping. You could buy stuff there too, right, bro? Can we?
So I'm still figuring out the online store for that, but I've got a website for Ninja Scouts where you can buy Ninja Scout stuff there.
Well, we need to buy Ninja Scouts, and look, Twitter, I spelled you right this time. Doyle writ large, all right? There you go. But the Kickstarter is what's important, because folks, let me tell you, be thoroughly entertained. And again, great Christmas present, because he still has one available to be drawn in. That is a geek's dream. If any ladies are listening, or guys, that your girl is a geek, or whatever situation you guys are in, if you have a geek in your life, period, this is something they would love. And with this such a fun book, this would be so legit. So make sure to support amazing independent creators like Kevin and his dope squad. Thank you for tuning into the Comic Crusaders podcast, mi gente. The outro tells you what to do, with the exception of course, follow my extended family at undercovercapes.com. This week we got a new No Prize podcast, an old timers show, and more. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. Thank you, Kevin.
All right,
you
thank
rock,
you,
bro. Wepa! Later, mi gente. Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play